Muy buenos días a todos aquí presentes y muy buenas tardes y noches a los que nos están viendo en las plataformas digitales. Antes que nada, quiero agradecer la presencia de productores de todos los continentes. Y quisiera pedir al público un gran aplauso por los que trabajan todos los días por darnos de comer. Welcome to DialogueNEXT Mexico. It's my honor and privilege to open this exciting dialogue that we have co-organized with our friends and esteemed colleagues from the World Food Prize Foundation. We're commemorating Dr. Borlaug arriving in Mexico in 1944, which opened the path for CIMMYT's creation. And today we are also having the World Population Day that we celebrate. I want to especially thank all of you. You could be doing something different the coming 2 days. So your commitment to the future of this planet is already expressed. I want to especially thank the world leadership that is sharing its vision here on stage to turn the potential that we generate through innovation and science into food on the table. Allow me for a moment to recognize the Honorable Secretary Victor Villalobos and the Honorable Secretary of Foreign Affairs Alicia Bárcena as the leaders they are and you are putting Mexico on the map of sustainable development. Thank you very much. We are indeed deeply grateful to Mexico and its people for your contribution to the world. Today, we do not only celebrate 80 years of Borlaug arrival, we celebrate 80 years of contributions from Mexico to the world. Thank you, Chapingo, Colpos, INIFAP, Lanarro, multiple smallholder seed companies, all the different collaborators here together. Thank you, PAS. Thank you, Pueblo de México. Muchas gracias. I wish also to take a moment to recognize the presence of Julio Verdeguer. We celebrate the decision of the president-elect, La Doctora Claudia Sheinbaum, for choosing a man of honor, a man of science, and a man with a solid career at the service of smallholder farmers to become the next Secretary of Agriculture and honorary chair of the board of CIMMYT. Julio, CIMMYT would not look like this if it weren't for you. Warm welcome also to all the other secretaries, ministers, dignitaries, high-ranking officers from all countries in the 3 different continents. Welcome, Honorable Minister of Bangladesh, representatives of Zambia, representatives of Central America, Honduras, Guatemala, and for sure I am forgetting some. I wish also especially to thank the presence of the US government here represented with the highest ranking, by the highest ranking officer, the Honorable Special Envoy for Food Security, Carrie Fowler, and 2014 World Food Prize winner. Your work for conservation of biodiversity is tremendous. Thank you, Carrie. I welcome all 600 VIPs, VVVIPs, and VIPs here present. You can choose if you are a VV, VV, or VIP. With this, allow me to say, all protocol observed. Accurate measures of world population started in 1951. When we estimated that 80 years ago, there were between 2.3 and 2.5 billion people on this planet. It was then that the late Norman Borlaug made his way to Mexico and began work with support from the Rockefeller Foundation, and we have the representation of the Rockefeller Foundation joining us here for the first time in CIMMYT. Thank you, Roy, for joining us. It was thanks to your support that the Office of Special Studies, the predecessor of CIMMYT, was created. Borlaug's outstanding success in developing high-yielding and disease-resistant wheat varieties began at the Office of Special Studies and was crucial to laying solid foundations for CIMMYT's founding in 1966. By then, world population was already 3.4 billion people, and roughly one-third of them, around 1 billion people, were suffering from severe to acute food insecurity, particularly in South Asia. Today, we celebrate the unparalleled feat in developing improved wheat varieties that averted the disaster and earned Dr. Borlaug the Nobel Peace Prize in the 1970s for becoming the person who saved more lives than any other person who ever lived. By now, global population has already surpassed 8 billion people, making the urgent need of sustainably producing nutritious food for all and within planetary boundaries even more pressing. Scientists warn that we have already breached 6 of 9 planetary boundaries of Earth's life support system, including the boundaries of land use, fresh water, nitrogen, and phosphorus in the environment, and synthetic pollution from pesticides, plastics, and nuclear waste. Overwhelming consensus points to fossil fuel burning and some destructive farming practices as factors that pushed Earth systems beyond the safe conditions that made it possible for human civilization to flourish over the past 10,000 years. Mounting evidence also shows that we might not be at a crossroad, but we have already passed some of the tipping points. And that makes the emergency even bigger. There's an urgent need, bigger today than back in 1940s, to avoid a catastrophe on global scale. But there's also hope. There's huge opportunities, and that's why we invited you to DialogueNEXT. DialogueNEXT to generate together seeds of strength and nurturing farmer resilience. To be more precise, the different interventions will identify critical points and viable solutions to transform global food systems, and we need to double down and coordinate among scientists, farmers, and value chain actors. Our hyper-connected world today is constantly changing, and today, therefore, we need a bold, but not reckless, systems approach, an approach that brings progress to all and leaves nobody behind. In that sense, the past is not really in the past. There are still remnants that we need to work through, barriers of social progress that need our immediate attention so that we can make everything available, equitable throughout the globe. We can think of novel technologies that deliver benefits to some, but it can also deepen social inequalities and bring increased risks. Therefore, when we take decisions about innovations, when we take decisions about the future of this planet, it should not be done by a homogeneous group. It should be done by those that live it. It should be done by those of different colors and different chroma. It should be done by all of us. A decision based on facts, a decision based on a view of the future that is full of hope and potential. Everyone in this room is in the innovation game. Every single person sitting in CIMMYT is creating a better future. Every single participant in the CJR network is crucial to transform agri-food systems for resilience and equity, resilience with a purpose. And I want to recognize the best and biggest leader for the CJR system that we have had in history. She's here with us, is Mahane. Thanks for your leadership. You have our commitment to together accelerate innovation and agri-food system transformation, so that with the strategies we set out together, we can reduce risks and maximize impact. We can be deliberate about diversifying our decision-making and about pursuing innovation. We can take explicit steps every stage of our work to understand who is in the room and who isn't. And those that aren't should and will be invited as essential stakeholders who will broaden our collective thinking about positive and negative impacts. Once we're in implementation mode, We will set up feedback loops that help us identify unintended consequences faster and better, and eradicate and course correct sooner. Those data systems are possible today. Given the urgency of agri-food system transformation, you might be thinking, this is going to be very bureaucratic. This is going to slow us down if we have to invite everybody all the time. The truth is that indeed, we need to create change right now. But if we change things that become a bigger problem in the future, we're not serving our goal. Therefore, the job we have here is to generate connectivity and inclusion together with agility. We can embrace system thinking, and we can put those systems into practice in everything we do. None of us has total control, but we all have an essential role to play. We all have a responsibility to respond, to build the interface of engagement as needed between sectors, continents, countries, public, private sector, decision makers, and the farmer on the ground in the field. If you look at your phone right now, like some are doing, and I'm catching you, news will tell you that we live in a time of social fragmentation and institutional erosion. There's a rapid evolving context. Forces of stabilization are being seriously challenged, from governments to companies to individuals. The usual accountability mechanisms are weakened. That's not an ideal situation for us working together, because we need to attend a global poly-crisis. But the fact that you are here today means that you are willing to collaborate on our mutual survival that requires mutual accountability. Earth is our island, and we don't want to live in a race to the bottom, a Lord of the Flies scenario. The good news is the decision is in our hands. This is the meeting, or definitely one of the meetings, to make that happen. If we can build inclusivity, system thinking, and mutual accountability into our collective agenda, we can truly live up to our aspirations of resilient agri-food systems. And that's what agriculture is about. That's what DialogueNEXT is about. So I trust that the engaging and thought-provoking discussions that we all will be having in the coming 2 days will contribute to redress power imbalances and diversify decision-making processes, nurture farmer resilience, transform food systems, and end poverty and hunger for all, for everybody. That's the only way for a stable and prosperous planet. It's the only way for life in the future. Thank you very much for being here.